Welcome back to Druid Grove, my truest travelers. I'm Druid Dave, and today we're going to be talking about how you literally have the equivalent of a plastic spoon in your brain, about 7 grams. Now think about that for a moment. Does that bother you? Does that upset you? And now the research is ongoing. Well, we're not really sure if it affects the neurons of the brain or not. We know that dementia patients have they're 10 times more likely to get full-blown dementia if they have plastic in their brain. And then they'll say, well, correlation's not causation. Maybe the sick brain collects more plastic. Okay, so I guess if they have more plastic in their brain, they're more prone to getting dementia. But hey, I'm sure it's not affecting us or anything. So today we're going to talk about the cause, the effect, and the solution. So of course the cause is plastic everywhere, bottles, microwave covers, your clothing, polyester, even your plastic Ziploc bags, right? Even in the air, you just can't escape it, it's everywhere. Now we have nanoplastics that are even smaller than a microplastic. Microplastic is 1/1,000,000th, particle size nano is 1/1,000,000,000th. Now I thought I was doing a good job by recycling my Ziploc bags. I mean, it's better than nothing, at least it's reducing waste, where you can buy a box of Ziploc bags and they can last you a couple years if you just rinse them out and wash them out and label them, like trail mix, supplements, lemons, these for meat or whatever, and you can wash them out and they'll keep for a very long time. But still, what am I doing? I'm using plastic. I'm putting my food in plastic. So better than that would be some type of maybe mycelium bag, some type of canvas bags that I could wash or something. Or I mean even paper, but then everyone's like, well, now you're cutting the trees down. Well, a lot of the paper mills and facilities are somewhat sustainable because they regrow the trees, right? And they have a tree farm, that type of thing. But that isn't true for every country. That's only true for certain areas of the world that have the means to do so. Of course, the effect that it has on us is that it's going to cause some type of cognitive impairment. Now, we don't know what that is. Apparently, we don't know what it is. We're not sure what it may be, and it's also going to damage your organs, such as your liver and your kidney. It's going to cause, we know, hormonal disruptions, such as the endocrine disruptors and BPA and different types of plastics like that. So we know that it definitely affects our hormones, right? So current animal studies right now are showing that it may actually affect our mood, our irritability, depression, anxiety, and brain fog. But of course the studies are ongoing, so we don't know for certain if that's what's actually happening. But if we just use our plastic brain and our common sense, it's obvious that it's affecting us, because humans didn't have the equivalent of a plastic spoon in their brain 50,000 years ago. Now, did they? It's obviously doing something to us, right? So, the solution is more preventative. It's hard to get it out of the brain once it's in there. It loves to get in there. The plastic molecules are similar to fat, and like attracts like in chemistry, and so they like to accumulate in fat tissues and that sort of thing. There is some preliminary research going on about creating certain types of bacteria and fungi that can eat the plastic. That's probably more bioremediation for the environment, not internal for humans. I could be wrong. I didn't look into it too much. I think people are working on a bacteria or some type of mechanism that may be able to cross the blood-brain barrier and get it out of the brain. But for the most part, it's more preventative. So how can you make sure that you excrete it out of your system? Well, you can take in more fiber, whether that's from lentils, chickpeas, psyllium husk, resistant starches from potatoes or whatever, or even chitosan, like the shellfish fiber that can suck things up. Diatomaceous earth, activated charcoal for more chemical bonding and excretion of the toxins. Of course, you can protect your liver and kidneys with milk thistle, with the silymarin flavonoid complex in the milk thistle, which helps create healthy bile salts, and it can also impede the transfer of heavy metals and other toxins from the kidney to the liver. I mean, we hear about milk thistles great for the liver, but it's really great for all glandulars. It's even great for the prostate if you're a male, and good for your lymphatic system. And then, of course, liposomal glutathione, which is going to help neutralize the oxidative stress and reactive oxidative species and the inflammation that's being caused by the nano and microplastic particles. And then even dandelion root for a good diuretic through the kidneys. Even a good coffee, if something that's high in chlorogenic acid, such as artichoke root extract or coffee, or even reishi mushrooms are high in chlorogenic acid. Yerba mate, and then of course the green coffee bean extract is also high in chlorogenic acid. Those types of things can be great, not just for blood sugar regulation and GLP-1, but also for liver health and kidney health, right? So a coffee that's not full of sugar, because sugar and sodium are going to be, other than plastic, are one of the main things damaging our organs, especially our kidneys. So if you want to be extra healthy, you can cut down on your sodium and sugar, which we all know. Even cut down on overconsumption of too many saturated fats in conjunction with sugar. Saturated fats aren't necessarily inherently bad or evil if they're combined with a healthy paleo type diet. It's just the fact if you're having a lot of saturated fats with a lot of sugar and a lot of salt, you're just going to be exacerbating your inflammation. Of course, you can take the curcuminoids. Curcuminoids are great for inflammation, joint health, connective tissues, even mood for serotonin and melatonin. But curcuminoids are also great for liver and kidney as well, just to reduce that inflammation, because the oxygen reactive absorbance capacity of curcuminoids is one of the highest in the world other than astaxanthin. So we already know that it's a very, very potent anti-inflammatory antioxidant. So those are some of the solutions. A call to action for you would be to at least start recycling more bags, even if you are using plastic. I haven't purchased a box of Ziploc bags in probably over 2.5 years. I just keep washing them and using them until they, I guess, unfortunately disintegrate. Then it's probably getting into my food. But then at that point, I'll either throw it away or recycle it. It's really hard to get away from all this, because even if you want to be healthy and eat fish, you have the potential of mercury, and now even the fish flesh from the ocean is going to have little nanoplastics in it. Essentially, our bodies are just full of plastics. We're just, just laden with plastic. Our brain has the equivalent of a spoon, and it's projected that every 10 to 15 years it's going to double, and the rate is accelerating, so it might even be more like 7 to 8 years. So you've got about 7 grams of plastic in your brain right now. In about probably 7 or 8 years, you're going to have another 7 grams. And who knows if the effect is linear. We're talking about doubling the actual weight. Right now, it's about 0.5%, so about 0.5% of our brain is plastic, the mass weight, which is alarming. In the next 8 years or so, it's going to be 1%. So 1% of your brain is plastic. So yeah, we've doubled in weight, but the effects may be exponential. We don't know. It doesn't mean that the effects are just going to be linear. At that point, it's like, well, what is 1% plastic going to do to our brains? So this channel is going to be all about environmental health. I'm going to keep talking about neuroscience and psychology and everything, but the broad perspective is environmental health. So I do talk about nutrition. I do talk about mood and how this is affecting our mood. It's some of our issues with depression and anxiety and brain fog may not just be from viral infections. They may not just be from trauma. It's also the environment. We're talking about environmental health. It may be from the plastic in our brain. Heck, the majority of it might be from the plastic in our brain for all we know. When we look at all the multiple contributing factors and we weigh them, and we keep studying this with animal studies and human studies, and we eventually figure out, well, what is the major contributing factor? What's the most influential factor affecting our cognition? I'm willing to bet it probably is the plastic. I mean, yeah, you can be exposed to mercury and lead and different things, and psychological issues and that type of thing from, trauma from your environment or whatever it may be. But there's no way that some physical substance that rarely, if ever, biodegrades without bioremediation, that's lodged in our brain, right? There's no way that's not affecting us. substantially, significantly. There's no way in heck, I don't even need the results to know that there's going to be a significant correlation, right? It's not just going to be noise in the statistics. The statistics are going to show a very significant direct correlation, mark my words. I mean, it's pretty obvious. So that's the cause, that's the effect, the solutions, call to action. I mean, again, keep reusing your plastic bags so you're not just like buying boxes of Ziploc bags all the time. Try and use less plastic shopping bags at the grocery store. Get, a canvas tote bag, that type of thing. In the thumbnail, you could see all my plastic bags. Like I've got them in a box, right? But I mean, I'll get these from people. They'll give me fruit, dried fruit, things like that, whatever. Like I collect them even, but I just wash them and I go through them and they last forever. Unfortunately, they're still plastic, right? But better than nothing, Maybe I'll have less of a spoon in my head in 8 years than other people. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Once we have 2 spoons in our head, we'll see how that goes. And then in the next 8, well, it'll keep ramping up. So maybe 5 to 6 years after that, we'll see where we're at with 3 spoons in our head, especially this extractor culture and this extractor system and this authoritarianism and totalitarianism we can feel encroaching on our freedoms. We can all feel it. And yet again, like I've always say, how are we supposed to create healthy human beings without first maintaining and sustaining, right, and controlling for a healthy environment? How are we going to have healthy human beings without first having a healthy environment? We hear about psychological help and going to a counselor. We hear about nutrition and gut health and how, it really starts in the gut. And you need to fix your gut, then you'll fix your mood, right? And you'll fix your spiritual body. Well, let's take a step back. What's upstream of all of that? The environment. You have to have a healthy environment first. The foundation has to be healthy. Clean water, clean soil, clean air. As well as morale, recreation, that type of thing. Lifestyle, a good balanced lifestyle. You have to have all of those long before you ever think you're going to cultivate healthy human beings. And that's another thing. This is kind of a side note, but let's stop calling ourselves consumers, because this is influence. It's like psychological marketing and propaganda. They teach you over and over and over in the ads and the media and in advertising that you are a consumer, because they want you to think and believe and feel as if you're a consumer. And we're even more than just a creator. Yes, we are creators. It's pretty obvious humans like to create. That's what we do here on the earth. I've got my aquascape in the back and being creative, playing music, whatever. We love creating. But over an extended period of time, that creation is what we can call cultivation. We cultivate it. We stay disciplined. We stay focused because we have, a vision, right? Big picture, eagle eye, bird's eye view. We want to have a broad perspective on what we want the outcome to be in the future, 50 years from now, 100 years from now. That's being a cultivator. So my point is, stop calling yourself a consumer, stop calling other people consumers, and call yourself a cultivator. We're cultivators, and this is our world. The system, the elites, the governments, they didn't create this world, and the fact that they think that they can outlaw fungus from the planet is beyond ridiculous. Beyond ridiculous. You can't outlaw something that you didn't create. It makes absolutely no sense that you can take something of the earth and then tell us that it's outlawed. I'm speaking directly to you, and I hope you are watching, whoever the hell you are. You don't own us. You didn't create us, and the revolution's here, and we're not going to back down. You didn't make the mushroom. The fungus isn't yours. You didn't create the earth. You're not our masters. You're not better than us. And the truth be told, we're coming for you. And your time is over, because we're standing up for environmental health. We're standing up for ourselves. We're advocating for the truth. And your lies will never win. See you next time. Bye, system. Bye-bye. Peace out, everybody.